yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They'll take for their disease. Breathe just like a wing, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Whip guards in the weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make great.
All right, guys, let's get this party started. If you want a reading, be sure and visit my stand store. It is linked in the description below. And as always, we have a fair use, a disclaimer. As you come in, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the video if you like it. Let's get it going. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Astrology for Mystics. I'm your host, astrologer Jennifer Jennings, and wow, the holiday weekend is coming to a close. I mean, we got through the rest of the evening, I guess. I could have waited until tomorrow, but why not? Why not? Let's just look at it today. It is Saturday. We do have a whole nother day to go through, but we can already see it's very telling. We can already see. So if you didn't check out my video, excuse me, about the holiday weekend forecast, you definitely want to do it. You definitely want to do it because rather than showing you charts and all of that, I just talked it out. I talked it out, and the video on my YouTube is called Holiday Weekend Forecast. It's where I've got a thumbnail, let me show you, with Mr. Larry Fink. And Larry Fink, he pretty much the one of the richest man, if not the richest man on the face of the earth. There was a lot of things that I saw coming this weekend, and like I said, the weekend still isn't over yet. And I would say that there are definitely some things that are going to be happening in Venezuela through the evening, through the weekend. Okay. Hello, Brenda. Hey, Jeff. Thank you guys for joining me today. Kimberly, his eyes, Deanna, Orbitraction. I can barely contain myself. I'm saying I can barely contain myself either. So I'm just going live today about it. I can barely contain myself too. Hey, Deanna. Brandy. Hi. Deanna, Tina, Jill. Hey, guys. Kimberly. Welcome in, everybody. Kat. Welcome in. Hi. Hello, Angela. Cheryl. I'm watching on the TV screen. Shoot, yeah. Happy holidays. Hey, guys. Welcome in. So what I want to first talk about is what was in that video. So the video that I did, the holiday weekend forecast, it definitely showed us a lot. I talked about a lot, but in one chart, you can see a lot, but I was looking at the entire weekend. And so what I saw versus what actually happened is this. I saw that the holiday weekend, this weekend, was and still is a perfect storm of Scorpio darkness. A lot of Pisces confusion and institutional strain was all hitting the United States, Pluto, and the second house. And so I warned that this period is going to and did expose weaknesses inside federal systems, financial infrastructures, military operations, corporate leadership. And I said that we would see a law enforcement theme and possibly resurfacing of investigations, questionable decisions coming to the surface, and unexpected strain on the national security infrastructure, the structure of it. And of course, that is exactly what happened, almost point for point. I saw pressure building on the major financial institutions with Larry Fink, BlackRock, appearing unable to stabilize until possibly after December 1st. And it was right on cue because as we entered the weekend, there was a dramatic financial disruption. The Chicago CME data center overheated and it shut down the U.S. options for futures, bonds, commodity trading. And that took place for 10 hours across the globe. Across the globe. Now, I didn't see that. I just saw that there were definitely going to be strains upon the United States and the financial markets. And I did see Larry Fink, BlackRock. I mean, that is a whole lot of the stock market right there in and of itself. But the literal overheating failure, that Mercury in Scorpio that was stationing and the dark moon activating the financial markets with the United States, is where that hidden weakness was. So the hidden weakness that I really couldn't see with that dark moon hitting the United States financial market, it was almost like I wasn't sure if it was going to be about the the Black Friday, the the sales being down, and that was also a part of it. The sales were down, and that's big to have the sales down on a Black Friday. There just wasn't a whole lot of sales going on. But anyway, I'll get to that. Hey, Lori, welcome in, honey. Welcome in, Cinderella. Welcome in, guys. I'm just going over what I saw versus what happened. I saw law enforcement that energy rising, especially involving the Secret Service, FBI, US Marshals, and cross jurisdictional agencies. And we saw all of that. The US Marshals actually issued a national alert about a surge in imposter scam calls. There is also a federal investigation now into the false arrest of a Phoenix woman by the US Marshals, and that case has remained unresolved for over a year. And that is a part of that intensity that I saw with the US Marshals in the 8th house and Saturn coming to that degree of that intensity. And it is definitely about that. Definitely. But it wasn't the only thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not the only thing. When an energy comes over us, it's going to express itself in multiple ways. It's not just going to be one exact way. And that's something that astrologers really need to learn, is that it's not just going to be one specific. It's going to work itself out and express itself in different ways. Because the other way that it expressed itself with the intensity and the Saturn that was coming to that degree with the US Marshals, with that intensity, with that vertex in Cancer, it was also about the US Attorney Generals coming together. US Attorney Generals across 39 states are coming on board for the Tribal Warrant Fairness Act, which would empower the United States Marshal Service to assist tribal nations in recovering missing children and apprehending violent offenders. So states like Tennessee, right? Because I was talking about Tennessee and their relationship, their connection to the U.S. Marshals. But it wasn't just Tennessee. It's also attorney generals from Arizona, Colorado, New York, California, Dakotas, and on. South Carolina, Ohio. All of these states that I've been seeing that were kind of converging together, that's why. That's why, which is amazing. Because sometimes, I get confused. I'm seeing way too much. And I'll say, y'all, I'm just seeing too much. It's converging. It's giving me a headache. I don't know. I'm getting confused. It's just so much. But this matched the exact energy that I saw surrounding the agency expansion and the protection themes with missing persons, federal level jurisdiction shifts. I saw military tension, naval activation, and potential conflicts surrounding the Caribbean Sea and Venezuela. And so the news is broken, and it's stating that President Trump has announced that all airspace in and around Venezuela be shut down. That's today. This morning, President Trump announced nothing in and around Venezuela airspace is permitted. All the while, the commentary is exploding regarding the United States interest in Venezuelan oil. That was also in my forecast with my video. And guys, if y'all haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out, because I'm not just making this up out of thin air. And President Trump restricting the airspace is also the FAA theme too. And of course, all attention is on the USS Gerald R. Ford. What happened with that? Well, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, went there, aborted the ship on Thanksgiving, gave his little speech. He leaves. And then last night, the ship, their Neptune, was in transit with the lunar node, the north node, as it conjunct the moon. And this is significant because it would appear to me that Maduro is in transit, leaving, going to Turkey. Okay. Because Turkey and this ship, the USS Gerald R. Ford, has come into they have a lot of the same degrees in the chart, as well as Venezuela is being bombarded today. And it would not surprise me if we already have troops on the ground there. Venezuelan oil isn't as easy to extract. So it takes a lot of money. And the United States, I think, is prepared, whatever they're saying, and it's all propaganda. That's my that's my perception with the astrology. No doubt about it. I think that they're already on the ground. I do. Anyway, exactly where the astrology pointed is exactly where this has all went to, because there is also things that are going on with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, because I mentioned that there is going to be investigations that are going to resurface, and it definitely has to do with him because he ordered a lethal force on what he called a drug boat. And over 20 strikes, 80 unalivings, it's now being publicly scrutinized. And this is exactly what that Mercury stationing is all about, and how it is coming out of that shadow period with stationing. There was a lot of vulnerability I was seeing surrounding service members. Foreign agents is what I called it in the video. And we witnessed exactly that with the 2 National Guard members. One of them being unalived, one of them fighting for his life in Washington, D.C. And that moon in Pisces that was conjunct the North Node and square the sun in Sagittarius is the classic signature for that type of crisis involving a foreign agent. Okay? I mean, it's very simple, but sometimes we just don't know exactly how it's gonna work itself out with the different states, the different people, and the different agencies, jurisdictions, and what have you. I saw public violence, right? That was with this dark moon cycle, with the holidays, and to be aware of your surroundings when you're shopping. And there was a mall shooting in California, and it unfolded right on schedule, right on schedule. I saw an instability. There's a lot of instability this weekend, and it's not even over yet. But I did see a lot of instability for retailers and consumers, investors heading into and on Black Friday, which manifested through softer retail performance. The rattled market confidence amplified by the trading outlet outage. And so every theme unfolded, every pattern manifested, and every warning pointed to even echoed throughout this weekend. And it's still an orb. I mean, we are still going to see other things that are with this dark theme surrounding the United States and their values, their structure and their responsibility, and being accountable with the shadow government, all this hidden intensity that we are talking about, and we are publicly, politically arguing about, because we know what the real reason for going to Venezuela is. That this is not, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But what I saw with the astrology, with the institutional strain, the federal activity, financial disruption, resurfaced investigations, military exposure, public vulnerability, all of that. National tension, things going on with the waters, the foreign agents, all of that took place. And if I didn't tell you to go watch that and then look at the news, I wouldn't be doing my job because I am working to gain confidence with you guys. I want you guys to see that the proof is in the pudding. I walk the walk. The talk that I talk, I'm going to walk it too. And anytime that I would be wrong, I would say I'm wrong. I didn't see it this way or didn't see it that way, but I did see all that came and the players with it. The players with it. No doubt about it. So let me show you this. Let's just go and look at the news. Let me share my screen with you guys. Hey, cat lady. Hey, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Yes, bring Sebastian home to his daddy. We'll talk a little bit about that, I think. Before I get off live, I think we'll talk a little bit about some of this stuff just because I want to express myself. Thank you, Jeff. Please do hit the thumbs up, guys. You know, when you hit the thumbs up and you share, man, that helps my channel a lot. And consider becoming a member. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, babe. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Deanna, for welcoming everybody in. I appreciate you mods very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Y'all rock. All right, let me share my screen and I'm going to show you some of the tabs that I have open to show you. So here we have Venezuela and what is happening in Venezuela. And as you can see, 13 minutes ago, Donald Trump says Venezuela airspace now closed. It's closed. Trump tells airlines Venezuela airspace is closed in its entirety. And Maduro is, I'm telling you, he may not even be there now. He may not even be there. He may be in Turkey now. Would not surprise me if he's in Turkey. And then we have the global futures. I was talking about the stock market, right? And there was an outage for 10 hours with the data center in Chicago. There it is. There it is, y'all. I was talking about the U.S. Marshals, and there was an intensity with things that are hidden at home. And here it is. The United States Marshals issued an alert over rising imposter scam calls, where callers are receiving, where people are receiving calls from impersonations. And these impersonations involve, they're saying that they are federal officers. And so this was just 2 days ago. Even though they issued one in August, there was another one issued just 2 days ago on the 27th, on Thursday, Thanksgiving. And then here is where the United States Marshals, this federal investigation, now we have a new investigation. Investigations are resurfacing. And there it is, resurfacing. Just like there is an investigation that's resurfacing with the Secretary of War, Pete Hedge. And that is going to be more intense as we go into the Gemini full moon, excuse me, on the December 4th. On December 4th, this Gemini full moon, the first week of December is going to be a lot about Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, and the responsibility the professionalism that he should have regarding the things that we are hearing about that he said in September. So I think that we are going to see that intensify, especially on the political front. It's going to. I'm not saying I think, I know that that is going to resurface. We've got 39 attorney generals that are wanting more action taken with U.S. Marshals when it comes to this Tribal Warrant Fairness Act with the indigenous, the missing and the murdered. And that is something that is going to be an ongoing chatter. Definitely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So Larry Fink, what did we see with Larry Fink? Because Larry Fink is still in. Look, until December 1st, this is still going to be talked about, and it's right here. It says, this is from the New York Post. Other people are going to fly with this, or other media stations will. And it's where New York City Comptroller Brad Lander tells top pension funds to cut ties with BlackRock over his climate stance. And that's exactly what's going on, because in the 11th House of Groups in Taurus, he is having a financial strain because of his stance on climate. No doubt about it. No doubt. I had mentioned Mexico, seeing Mexico. There were things that were going to be highlighted with Mexico, and it was going to have a lot of attention with it. And Leo, there was going to be things we learned. And there is, 2 days ago, Miss Universe owners in Mexico and Thailand face trafficking fraud claims. That's it. The other one would also be, because this is more of the Leo, the competition with the Miss Universe and the this wouldn't just be the trafficking. This is also included with children, because the Leo is about children too. Of course, they were talking about the supercomputer. So there was definitely things coming out with that. And so you can go back and you can watch my video, guys. You can go back and you can watch my video, and you'll hear everything that has taken place so far this weekend, and we're not even done. We're not even done, y'all. So there is a lot of propaganda, a lot of things going on with our shadow government. Look here, don't look here. It's kind of like these cases with these missing kids, right? Look here, don't look here. Get distracted with this, don't look at that. Get your mind off of, you know, Sebastian definitely came home. Look at all these lights. You can't forget the lights, 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 lights. But what if he didn't make it home? What if? What if he didn't even make it home? And all this attention that is surrounding the neighborhood. And if he did make it home, we have to ask ourselves, especially on this channel, what does the car residents in the back have to do with this investigation? Are they friend or foe? What's happening here? There's a lot of questions with Sebastian Rogers' case. There's a lot of questions that don't have answers. And let me just tell you something. The fact of the matter is that Sebastian is going to be honored at the Culver's in Clarksville. And I did look at some of the comments under Seth's post, and they were wanting to know why it wasn't being held in Hendersonville, because, well, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Well, Sebastian lived there. Why wouldn't you do it in Hendersonville? What difference does that make? What difference does it make, for one? And for two, Let's just ponder this, okay? Seth lives in Clarksville. Sebastian Rogers has ties to Clarksville. He knows his neighbors in Clarksville. There's a lot of people in Clarksville that know Sebastian because his dad took him out of the house. People at Waffle House know Sebastian. People in the neighborhood know Sebastian. People all over, not just Hendersonville. And it's very convenient. Let me just add for those of us who have been supporting these events since day one, it's very convenient for us to not have to go to Hendersonville. And let me just say, Hendersonville isn't the place that we really want to go to. That's where Sebastian disappeared from. But the fact of the matter is, Clarksville is the one and only so far that responded to the email and that said that they would do it. So the fact is, they said they do it. Hendersonville, Culver's has not responded. And this is all according to hindsight on that post of Seth. Point blank, period. Okay. The fact is that he's going to be honored and there's not going to be a bunch of drama. There's not going to be a big drama fest with Rich and Ruby, who doesn't even show his face. Nobody has to worry about all the money that they have contributed to because this is a sponsored event. You weren't asked to help, right? You weren't asked to help send in money for somebody from Texas to get here to show up and show out for Sebastian. We just didn't need that. We don't need that. We need to be respectful and be honoring Sebastian on his birthday and coming into agreement with his father, Seth Rogers. And let me just say this too. Wouldn't it make more sense if you're going to organize a birthday event for Seth Rogers' son that you would first ask Seth Rogers if that's okay? Wouldn't you want to get permission from him first instead of after the fact, after you can't get permission from Chris Proudfoot and all that drama that happened with Chris and Rich and Ruby and Smiley's? I mean, it's just, sometimes people just don't have a lick of sense. A lick of sense, not one iota of a single brain cell. And it really is disheartening to see how many people are just stuck, either out of ignorance or just out of stupidity. You got you creators arguing back and forth with one another, grown people arguing back and forth on YouTube, all the while going to throw this young man into the mix. No, ma'am, no ham. No, Sebastian deserves better. He deserved better than the home that he was at in Hendersonville. He deserves to be at home. He doesn't deserve for us to be honoring him at Culver's, no matter what city it's in. But the truth of the matter is that Rich and these people don't even have Seth's phone number. Haven't even reached out to him. They wanted to start organizing all of this other stuff. This is what I'm talking about, though. This is respectful. And this wasn't just created without asking Seth. Seth approved it, and then it happened. Do you understand how that works? Do you understand how that works? Because this is Seth's son. It's not my son. I know no YouTube creator's son. It's Seth's son. So getting approval from him first And without having to go to YouTube and asking for everybody to donate for his birthday, the only thing that Seth has asked us to do, and that he continues to ask for us to do, is hand out flyers. And on Sebastian's birthday, join us at Culver's. And if you can't, just spend time with your kids, because his kid isn't here to spend time with. Spend time with your kids. That's what he wants for you and me. If we have children, is to just spend time with our kids on Sebastian's birthday. It makes perfect sense. But what doesn't make sense is all these creators going back and forth, and then going to try to say that this is all about Sebastian. No, it's not. It's about your ego. This isn't a competition. This isn't about your ego. This is about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and his birthday. And we need to be respectful. And if you don't get a response after you emailed Seth and you've reached out to him on his YouTube and he still isn't responding to you, there's a reason for it. There's times that people get mad at me for not responding to an email, especially if it's a derogatory or a mean email. And let me just tell you something. I don't respond to shit like that. I might think about it. I might have several drafts, but I'm not going to send it, because what is already understood doesn't need to be explained. And grown folk, we're having a hard time on the YouTube streets with the grown folk. And most of it is the women. But there are some guys, like the dude that's not even showing his face. He doesn't show his face, but yet he asks you for your money. Oh, this case is going to be solved because of you, Rich. I just can't. Oh my gosh. Here's $20. Here's $20. Here's $40. So he's racking up all this money. And where's it going to? He hasn't even asked Seth. Hasn't even asked Chris. He's just bringing in the money. And people are handing it to him. And I'm not faulting those. Look, when you give, just like when you give on this channel, you're giving out the kindness of your heart. Now, if I were to ask you to help me get somewhere and you give to me and then I don't go that place, now you still gave out the kindness of your heart, but you were under the impression that I was going to do XYZ with that money. And if that don't come into fruition, that's a problem. And so when these events take place and these creators are getting money in, be mindful about where you're putting that dollar. Even if it's $2, guys, $2 is $2. I'm so glad that they're doing it in Clarksville instead of Hendersonville. I'm so glad. Like, what? I'm so glad. Because Jeff and I don't have to drive all the way to Hendersonville. It's a lot easier for those of us who have been supporting, who do not live in Hendersonville. Now, I used to sell real estate in Hendersonville, raise my kids around Hendersonville. But yeah, and don't feed the drama. Don't feed into it. Don't feed into it. And you got creators on here going real life. And it's just, how is it that they're grown? They're grown in age, just not grown mentally or emotionally. That's what I say. But I find it odd you don't ever see KP or CP do something like this for Sebastian. No action speaks so much louder. It does. There's been no events that they've held. None. Not a one. They haven't come to him either, and Seth has invited them every time. I don't blame them because of the shit throwing, stuff that's gone back and forth between them. But, look, when you got a missing kid, Katie, from your home, Katie and Chris, um, there's where the divide began. It didn't begin here on YouTube. It began the moment that Sebastian went missing from her care. It began when she, excuse me, it began when she showed no emotion, when she was talking about things other than Sebastian being missing that first day. There was a lot, and it has nothing to do with, I mean, obviously, the YouTube drama has fueled it. And for Mr. Fisher to say, acting like he wasn't a part of it, dude, you are so a part of the drama. Don't act like you ain't. Like you're some kind of saint. You're some kind of professional now. Give me a break. Give me a break, Steve Fisher. You're not professional. Never have been. Never will be. They may be living in Mississippi. They may very well be living in Mississippi. Who knows? That is wonderful, Lori. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Be sure and take pictures. Post your pictures. That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, cat lady. I mean, we got to advocate because look, a lot of moms aren't advocating, and there's a reason for that. They're not advocating for their missing kids because evidently they must know where they're at. And trying to survive real life. And then these creators, I mean, everybody, I feel like we're just trying to make it one day at a time. But when you start stirring the pot and then you wonder why that pot is stirred, you can't say, these creators will say, I hate drama, but then be all in it, talking about another creator and just stirring it up. And am I talking about Rich and Ruby? Yeah, I did. I did. I did. I did. It's because this type of event that Hindsight and BMW put together is a mature, responsible way to organize an event. Come up with your idea, email it to Seth, or if you're on the, close to the, Cluminati and all them, email it to them, to Chris. But email them first. Give them the right because this is their son. This is their son. And just because we are helping and advocating, we have no control. And we shouldn't try to force ourselves into creating this event with our idea. You first have to gain trust. Seth don't know these people, doesn't trust them for obvious reasons. So why would he want you to do anything like that for a son? Not knowing what type of backlash, because this is going to come back on him and Sebastian honoring for his birthday. It just seems like, it's a no-brainer to me, but yeah, the fact that they don't do anything says a lot. It does say a lot. Definitely. Definitely try it. Try it out. I don't know that Crabtree is living in their home. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's got a job yet in Mississippi or not. I don't know. They're definitely keeping things a little hush hush. And I don't blame them. I would too. because we're on them like single shit. So I don't blame him for not saying anything. It's just like with Seth when he comes out and says stuff. I mean, people are on him. So I don't know that Crabtree is living there. I don't know. All I know is that Sebastian is still missing, and I'm still looking to try to find him. And if you didn't catch that 4-hour live last night, I was definitely talking about things coming into fruition the second to third week of January. And this is going to be coming back around. It's going to be coming back around to the things that we've been discussing this last week. And we are going to see more chatter, more information come in regarding the residence behind Sebastian's home, the car residence. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kat. I know, I mean, we saw his truck there one day, but I don't think that he's living there. He couldn't afford it. He can't afford it. Yeah, who knows? Because there's a lot of rumors, right? And they're just everybody assumes things and then it runs rampant. And then next thing you know, people think it's a fact, but we just don't know. Have I done a reading on Crabtree? I definitely have his birth time and his birth chart. And I did do readings on him. I would tell him, hey, I know your chart now, so this is coming. And that's when we talked. But we stopped talking when all that stuff came out. And he and Tony Mathis had a little going back and forth, and Crabtree put me in the middle, and then he threw me under the bus. So he didn't run over me with the bus, but he definitely threw me under it. And he just stopped talking to me. So it hurt my feelings there for a while, but I got over it. You've heard several times. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. You're sweetie. Where is Tony? Tony is, he is dealing with a lot of things with his life. With his life, he's got a lot going on. He's got a full-time job, and that took a back seat. He had to get back to work. He's got a lot of things going on with his family, with his home life, and he is very much still in conversation with Seth. He hasn't left. Nobody has left. It's not like he had to take a break or anything like that. He just has a lot of things going on, and he has a family, he has a home, he has other things in the pipeline that he's trying to get going. As far as like PR work and things like that, he's still involved. I just think that, as time progresses with Sebastian being missing, things are going to change. Things are going to change. Some the event planner, she moved to Florida. So, we're looking at events that are going to be coming up that we may have to, get other people to plan these events. It's just, there's just a lot of changes that have taken place and people's life don't stop. It keeps going. But Tony is definitely still a part of Seth's life. I mean, not, every day with a bunch of drama and you know, uh, trying to halt things that are coming out or, you know, as far as at night goes, I mean, that's another ball game altogether. You know, people assume that Seth hired them, working with them side by side, and he hasn't ever. So that's a definite misinformation if I've ever seen one. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. And it's a lot that, as time progresses, these changes, these shifts, but one thing is for certain, anybody and everybody can step back. Oh, I needed to take a break. I hear this a lot. I hear this one a lot. Ooh, I had to step back from that case. It just was too much. So much drama. I just had to take a break. Seth can't take a break. He can't just take a break from the drama. He can't take a break from looking for a son. This is his life now. And every day he wakes up to the same nightmare because every day this nightmare is continuing without his son being present in his life. That's the only joy is Sebastian. So when your joy is gone, and then you have people complaining about their life, complaining about this and complaining about that, especially to Seth. Think about how hard that is to hear from people. And luckily, thankfully, Seth is very wise, understanding, compassionate, and empathetic. But there's only so much that one person can take, too. So if he comes live and he is showing distress, let him. If he comes live and he is showing joy, let him. Because we have no idea what it's like to walk in a parent's shoes who has a missing kid still under very suspicious circumstances involving the stepdad and the mother, right? Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That is very sweet of you. We can all help keep Sebastian's name in the public. If you are wearing Sebastian merchandise, you become a walking billboard. And so Seth has merchandise on his channel. There's hoodies, there's all kinds of things that you can purchase. Are you going to pay a little bit more? Maybe, but it seems pretty reasonable to me. The prices seem pretty reasonable. And it's definitely not easy to carry all this type of merchandise, but at the same time, I've been told that it ships very quickly and you can be a walking billboard for Sebastian. Since Katie won't talk to him without Chris around, can Seth ask for a guardian and corridor at the police station for a meeting? I don't know that that is, I think that there's so much emotion and anger. And even if there was a mediator, is she going to say what she really knows about Sebastian's disappearance with the mediator? I don't think so. That's the problem. That's the problem. It is very hard. And some days he doesn't stand. He just can't even get out of bed. He can't sleep, but he can't get out of bed because his head is hurting so bad because he did have a concussion. He's, dealing with that still. Because after he went back to work and got that concussion, he was put on leave by the doctor. And still, the doctor has not cleared him. And even if he were to be cleared, he's not just going to be able to go into a building that's got a bunch of lights. My daughter suffered from a concussion when she was 14. She's in her 20s now, and she still suffers, especially when she goes to work because she works at a nursing home. And you got these bright lights everywhere. And it gets to her. It gets to her. She may have to order those glasses, those glasses that you see like Deception Detective wearing, those type of glasses. It helps somewhat, Seth, and it may help my daughter too. I don't know. But I think that the main issue that surrounds this the parents talking, because Dolly's like, for 2026, the parents, dude, sit down. Know your place because you don't have a missing kid. Your daughter's not missing from her mother's. And if it was surrounding suspicious circumstances, Dolly, you would not be working with your daughter's mother. Let's be real and raw, not try to sugarcoat shit. Let's be realistic, right? Do you think Dolly would really work with his daughter's mother if she went missing under suspicious circumstances from her house? No. No, he would not. Anybody that thinks that has got issues, there's no way in hell that you would do that. And to expect Seth to do it is outrageous. It's outrageous. It's very ignorant. Ignorant. For 2026, let's just all that come together and work together. Come on. Are you kidding me? Would any one of y'all in this chat, whether in the bushes or in here, work with the parent, the other parent, if your kid went missing from their house and they are acting like Chris and Katie? No. Huh. I mean, answer for yourself, but I'm just saying, I don't think any of y'all would. It's not even realistic to do that. It's just not realistic. Exactly. Not no, but heck no. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, it's pretty evident from day one. Seth couldn't work with the Proudfoots from day one, and he tried. But look, when you're sitting around amongst a bunch of people and you're stressed out about your son missing, and they're talking about vacations and they're talking about jewelry and they're talking about this and they're laughing and everything, wouldn't you feel like you're in the twilight zone? Wouldn't you feel a little weird? Wouldn't you feel like you're in a weird place spiritually and intuitively? You would feel intuitively weird. You would feel like something is not right. Something is going on. Yeah, and I mean that's another thing. I mean, he's really trying to prevent himself from losing it. Every day is a challenge and every day he is conquering it. Yeah. No, I couldn't get over the fact that they needed to be on vacation right away. Yeah, they did. A week later, Chris is needing to go back to work. But if Chris's daughter was missing, right? If she was missing, he wouldn't go back to work. And if Faith was missing from Nina's house, he'd be taking her down through there. Come on, y'all. Let's get real and raw. Let's be yeah, I would be more vindictive too. I would be more vindictive too. I probably would. I would, yeah. But we just don't, it's hard for us to say. It's hard for us to say. We can say this and that, but at the end of the day, we don't have that issue. Thank God I don't have that issue. And unfortunately, some of our fate, I've lost children, but I don't have a missing kid. I have closure. I know how they died. I know what happened. There's closure. There's no closure for Seth. And I would say the same thing for Katie and Chris, but by their actions and their lack of emotion and lack of action, I would say that they know where Sebastian's at. This theory of him walking around the neighborhood, wandering around, just hanging out. Can't sleep. I think I'll walk around the neighborhood without shoes. Oops, I got an accident, or oops, I got into it with one of the neighbor kids in the middle of the night. Come on, what makes the most sense here? What makes the most sense? Oh, I mean, Jesus, man. Oh, yeah, you would not want to be in the same room. Definitely not. No. So for Dolly to say that, he's ignorant. That's an ignorant statement. That's very ignorant, and I just cannot believe that anybody would suggest that they do that. I have no idea why anybody would suggest that. Makes no sense. Makes 0 sense. I know, that's the problem. It's really disheartening to see how many have no common sense at all. No, none. It's very disheartening, and I don't understand why. Thank you everyone for being here, supporting Jen's channel, even if you are watching from the bushes. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, baby. It makes no sense. My ex and Aries and me, Sag, we're total opposites, same stubborn. There's a lot of fire there. Okay. You got a lot of fire. Lots of fire, a lot of competition. Yeah, being stubborn. No doubt about that, Hope Floats. No doubt about that, girl. I'm Pisces. Jeff is Scorpio. Scorpio is in my everyday house. It's in my sixth house, my everyday, how I work. And that's Jeff. Jeff shows up in my everyday just to shine and just to shine. And yeah, same. I can't imagine like my ex-husband and I have a really good relationship, but all of that would go south. If one of my kids was growing up and they went missing from his house and then he did a 360 and had no emotion and was acting all weird and stuff, oh yeah. If I had the suspicion that he could be responsible or he would know where my kids are at, oh yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's gonna be bad. Gonna be bad, bad, bad. So to say that we shouldn't have this, strife amongst the parents of Sebastian is quite ignorant. Thank you for being a member for a whole month. You are so appreciated, Jill. Thank you so much. You're so appreciated, babe. Oh, she gifted one. Jill, you were gifted what? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a member, babe. Very, very good. Good, good, good. Love it. Welcome to the Watchers, honey. Hold on, let me do that. Let me do that. Where is it at? Where is it at? I got you something here. I did me a little video like everybody else. It's not all that great, but hey, it's something. Look at this. Kind of cool, huh? Kind of cool. I appreciate you, Jill. Thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you very much for becoming a watcher. Welcome to the Watchers. And we're always going to watch. We're always going to watch, observe, and then we're going to come back in hindsight, right? We're going to come back in hindsight and we're going to check this out because we need to. Let's see. All right. What else? What else was I going to talk to you guys about? What else was it? Did y'all like that though? Oh God. I even got a birthday one. I put in a birthday one. Y'all want to see that? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm trying to get better here. Look at my what do y'all think about that? Is it cheesy or what? I was like, I'm gonna create a watcher video and a holiday. I mean a birthday. I need to do an anniversary one too. It's cute. It's cute. Kind of cheesy, but hey, it's all right. It's all right. Do you like it, Jeff? I love it. On the 31st. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do an anniversary one. Do you, Kim? I love it. Love it, guys. I love it. The other thing that I wanted to briefly say is that when we show up, because Jeff and I, of course, plan on going to Culver's, I'm definitely going to, if I don't go live, I'll definitely take pictures to show you guys how many people showed up. Because I think we're probably going to have a pretty good crowd. And I'm hoping that some of the law enforcement officers will show up in honor of Sebastian from Hendersonville. I'm hoping anyway. And if Chris and Katie were to come, I'm sure that Seth would put that difference aside for that moment. But I don't think that it's realistic for us, the public, to expect anything different. Because when your kid goes missing, it's chaotic in and of itself. And even though we didn't want Tony to be a spokesperson for Seth and we wanted Seth to speak for himself, there were also people that said that were also complaining about him, using the F bomb and telling people to F off. And, you know, so Tony did his best to protect Seth. He does his best to protect Seth and does his best to help him with the PR. Yeah, that's 40 years is unbelievable. I think so too. I think that there's gonna be a good turnout. I think it will be a good turnout. I think it's a beautiful thing. He was behind a gift membership, and it gave it to me because mine needs renewal. I don't know. That is weird because I thought you were already a member, and I was like, "Yeah, you gifted it." No, it's yours. Hold on. Like once a month, I can gift 10, but I've already used it, so I don't. It's probably going to be up here in just a little bit. Maybe the next few days, I'll be able to gift 10 more, but I do gift memberships even without it being free. I'll still gift memberships just because. Just because. Hey, Pebbles, good to see you, honey. Good to see you. Yeah, it was really confusing because I was like, huh? I thought you were already a watcher. Chill. What happened there? But the gifting, let me see. Let me see if I can, how many, let me see what, I don't even know how to tell when I'm able to do it again, but I would like to. I would like to. Let me see. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see how I can do this. Yeah, I'm not up for it for this month, which see, I don't know when it will begin again. Let's see. It's not telling me when. Dang it. I don't know. It's not showing me though. I mean, sometimes I'm electronically challenged, and then other times I'm not. Other times I'm not. It's the weirdest thing. There we go. Now we got some more members, some memberships. Daffy Dog, Cat Lady, Kim, Cat, very happy. Love it. Love it. Love it. So there's you guys memberships. How about that? How about that? Straight from me. My gift to you guys. That is funny. Too funny. Just because I sent those out just so I could play that one more time. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. Yeah, sometimes I'm good with technology and then other times I'm not. It just depends on how much time I'm willing to spend. Yeah, where is Sebastian, Katie? Do you? I do. I love it too. I love it too. And dang it, Kylie, you still didn't get it. Every time I do the membership, it doesn't get to you. You're welcome, Daffy Dog. Y'all are welcome. Very, very welcome. Very welcome. Welcome to the Watchers, guys, where we watch and we observe. That's what we do here. And Kylie, you're going to get one. I promise. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. You too, Lori. It's like you can't pick who it goes to either. When you do gift memberships, it's just one of them things. It just goes to whoever. But I'm hopeful that you guys will be all members before too long. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Angela. Thank y'all. Yeah, I mean, but one day it will be. One day it will be. It is all random. But getting back to his birthday, I see I'm going to be doing a before the 17th birthday. I am going to be doing a birthday reading for Sebastian. I am going to be doing that. So as we get closer, because it's a week away, as we get closer, I'm going to do a reading for that day and a progressed chart. So you'll see. You'll see. And you'll understand. I'm going to, instead of doing it as a video, I'm going to just do a live with it. That way I can go back and forth, go back and forth. I think more people would be interested in it with a live than versus a video. I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate you, really. I appreciate all of you guys that want to come here and learn something different. It's not a whole bunch of drama. I mean, I might be a little dramatic every once in a while, but I try to maintain myself, try to maintain this channel. I try to maintain respect for the missing. And even though I don't have much respect for Chris and Katie, I still try to maintain some. I really do. So, with that said, I'm still trying to maintain. I'm not trying to accuse. At the same time, when I'm looking at the charts, especially before he goes missing, I would love to be able to understand more. And without talking to Chris and Katie, without them talking to me, I can't really understand. I'm only using what I know, what I think, and that may not be a fact, but I do try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And early on, I really try to disprove myself. I really try to see that, I try to see the good in all people. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an educational channel. This is more educational for sure. For sure. Hey, Mama Marissa, good to see you, girl. Good to see you, Mama Marissa. Hope you guys had a good holiday weekend. Of course, it's not over yet, right? But I forgot you did. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I've looked at all of them. I looked at his birthday 16, 17, and 18 and 19. I've looked at them through 19. But we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna look at it again because a lot of times we'll forget. We'll forget. We got to remind each other. We got to remind us. Hello, Sassy. Sebastian's Army. That's us. We are watchers, watching the army unfold. And some of us that can, well, those of us that consider ourselves Sebastian's Army, we have one general, and that's Seth. That's it. It's not any YouTuber. It's not me, not Jeff. It's Seth. That's the general of Sebastian's Army. That's us. And we watch on this channel how things unfold when it comes to these kids missing cases and of course world events because I do also cover world events. If I see Trump coming in, if I see things are looking really shady with the government or anything like that day that that stuff went down with Charlie Kirk, Shauna King that comes in here that moderates for me, she's told you guys the night before she and I were talking, and I said it's going to be intense. It's going to be bad. There's something bad happening. I said it was going to happen at 1:15 Nashville time. That would be 12:15 Utah time. And that's exactly what happened. It was very intense, and it's still lingering to this day of what really happened to Charlie Kirk. So I do cover world events as well. I know it, cat lady. I know it. Yeah, girl, we are definitely going to go to Culver's. We're going to go. We are going to go. Mhm. Hi, lovable Mama Bear. Good to see you. Good to see you showing up and showing out with us. Your anniversary is December 2nd, 47 years. Oh my gosh, I wish I had an anniversary video. I'm about to make one. I'm about to make one. Next time you come on here, I'm going to have you a video for your anniversary. I've gotten the birthday video, I've got a welcome member video, and now I need to do a anniversary video. I sure do need to do one. Jeff and I will be together this coming up year. We'll be together 3 years. I don't know how he puts up with me, but he does. I know 47 years, that's a lot of years, babe. What would you say is y'all's secret for staying together so long? I wish you could too, Mama. My Marissa, I wish you could be here too. I wish you could. 21 years. What is y'all's secret? Those of you that have been married for a long time, what would you say is your secret to staying married? Like, honestly, don't sugarcoat it. Be honest. Be honest here. I want the raw narrative. You married your best friend. Oh, I love that. I love that. Respecting one another. That's a life sentence. So my aunt and uncle have been married since they were teenagers, and they are now in their 70s. And throughout the years, my uncle just did what he was told. Because my aunt's a very dominating person. Yeah. I heard that. But you do joke and say, "I married for love the first time. If I ever again, it'll be for money." Exactly. My mama said the same thing, but her and my dad will always they're inseparable. We each have separate spaces in our house to get away from each man cave and she shed. Like it a lot. 17 years. Wow. I think I was with my kid's dad for 17, but we're still good friends. We just, he's older. We grew apart. We're better off as friends. He's really not the married type. I wasn't as fortunate in finding a soulmate. Yeah. Sometimes we're just better off, we're just better off alone. My son was 17, his wife's 16, now 39 and 38, 3 kids and still so in love. I love that. I love that. So what do you guys think is your secret for staying together? Or maybe not secret, but what do you think it is that has held you guys together? 22 years. Communication, yeah. Communication is I think communication is a big key for survival in any type of relationship. Communication is key. Without good communication, you don't have a good relationship. You gotta be able to communicate. Yeah, yeah. That's sweet, Holly. I can't imagine being with anybody else than Jeff, and I can't imagine anybody else putting up with me either. And Jeff is really cute. He's really cute. He's a hard worker. Everything in life worth having takes work. Marriage, kids, work. Yep. Honesty. Yep. Honesty and talking. Yep. Most definitely loyalty. Gotta have loyalty. And you gotta know where you stand. The jealousy is not gonna work. You gotta know where you stand with somebody. Gotta know where you stand because if you're insecure, it's gonna be hard. People have to be able to be secure within their own skin. Sometimes people aren't that secure. They trust each other, always talk about everything, run a business together. Yeah. Yeah, gotta be friends. I agree, not enough loyalty. And definitely have to, like I said, you gotta be secure. When I first met Jeff, I was like, you have to be a very secure person to be with me. And he's like, I'm that. I'm like, well, okay. He's like, I love you for who you are and who you are yet to be, who you are becoming. He doesn't give me a hard time about going live. He doesn't give me a hard time about always thinking about astrology and dreaming about it. He doesn't give me a hard time. He accepts who I am. He loves me for me. And that's a big deal. It's a big deal. It is beautiful. Most definitely. And sometimes, we're just not meant to be with somebody. Like my ex-husband, I think he's better off just being alone, being by himself. He's not really the husband type. Yeah, don't try to change what you fell in love with. Exactly. Don't try to change nothing. I don't blame you. Yeah. Hey, hillbilly. Hey, honey. Good to see you. Okay, his eyes. Yeah, hey, Jeff is my yang. Jeff is my yang. That's right. That's right. Good communication makes for a good relationship. And so if we bring it back to Sebastian and say good communication between the parents, if you are not being told the truth, if you feel like you're not being told the truth, that's a problem. If you are finding inconsistencies with the narrative, It's a problem. The trust is broken. And once that trust is broken, the relationship is no longer a good one. And you may have to sever ties because of the inconsistent narratives, inconsistent stories about where Sebastian could be, what happened, and all of that. And so we can take all of this and we can apply it to the reasons why, the multiple reasons why Seth cannot work with Chris and Katie. If he were to feel like there was no foul play, there was nothing weird, and that Katie and Chris's behavior was normal, and he didn't have that insecure feeling thinking that they definitely know where Sebastian's at, then of course they could work together, right? But you can't expect these parents to work with one another. And for those creators that are saying, "Oh, in 2026, that's what I want for them to work together." No, 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 because you're saying that from a point of view that's unrealistic. Anyone who says that they should doesn't have a missing kid and definitely doesn't have a missing kid from the parent that is being shady and not forthcoming about what really happened. Seth isn't a dummy. He's intuitive. He can definitely feel the room before, as soon as he gets in it, he can feel it. And Jeff and I have witnessed that. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up somebody's butt. I'm saying that Jeff and I have witnessed that time and time again. And he's not going to back down from that. Exactly. Can't even have a conversation. So any creator that's on here saying that they think that this is what should happen from the comfort of his home or from the comfort of his Corvette or whatever, it's really ignorant. It's an ignorant statement. Exactly. So, I mean, if we feel that and we see that hillbilly, imagine how Seth feels. You know, there's no way in hell. The only thing that he wants to work with them is to work with them to bring his son home. He wants his son home. Well, just work with them. And then when Sebastian is found, then and only then point fingers. No, no, and no. How can anybody expect that? It's the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my life. You can't. Exactly. He did extend the olive branch, but then that was it. You can't force somebody to tell you the truth. And you're not Seth isn't going to sugarcoat and act like he's buddy buddy. That's an act. That's a show. That's fake. No, apply pressure. Where is my son? Where is my son, Katie? Where's my son, Chris? There's no way. Yeah, what you said, point blank. They can both tell that Seth knows what's up. Lovable mama bear, thank you. Jen, listening and always work together, love, trust, and having God first in our life. Yes, God is always good. CP can't save her from the storm she's going. Yeah, sure can't. I mean, because we've got to be honest. She's the last one to see Sebastian. So we have to look at her. And wouldn't that be really hard for you to be quote unquote working with a parent that you think knows exactly where your kid's at? You can't do that. You just can't. And even if you had it in you and you tried, you can only do that for so long because working from a place of authenticity is healthy. Working from a place of no authenticity is unhealthy. So we have to be authentic with our behavior. Those who we are around, you know, you just how anybody would expect these these people to work together and be not authentic with one another and knowingly know where Sebastian is, knowingly knowing that you know where Sebastian is and you're not telling me, I would be furious. Absolutely furious. I think anybody would. And I think it's very it's unrealistic to say that they should be working together. Your kid isn't missing, so of course you can say that they should be working together. "Hey, girl mom. Hey, honey. Good to see you. Good to see you." Well, I mean, even if they would work with Seth, why would Seth want to? Could you? Could y'all do that? Tell me. He does. I mean, it's his son. There's so many red flags, and the red flags were building up that very first day. The red flags were building up that very first day. How can you spend the first 3 days watching, observing, and then go back and feel like you're in a place where you can work with them? It just doesn't it's just not it doesn't work that way. Yeah, I mean, they're she's worried about they're worried about trespassing. Their priorities are all jacked up. And if we, the public, see that, well, then Seth saw that in the very beginning. So there's no way, and it's unrealistic to even think that they should be working together. It's just no way. It can't happen. And you can't say, Dolly visioned. You can't say, well, just go ahead and work together. And then when it's all said and done, then you can point the finger. No, no. You try that, buddy. You try that. Your daughter goes missing. You go to that and goes missing from your ex-wife's house or baby mama, whatever you want to call her. Your daughter goes missing, Dolly. You aren't going to be doing that. You're getting a lot of shady runaround. No, I don't think you're going to be working with her, hun. Don't think so. It's not how it works. No, Cinderella, it does. It makes you feel offended. No, that's right. I feel offended too. I do. And yeah, I couldn't either. I couldn't work with either one of them. And she was the last one to see him. He was ready to go back to work. She was ready to leave, leaving food and yeah, whatever she left on the porch, like he said, dog that may come back home. That offended me too. That offended me too. For Sebastian. It broke my heart really to think that she would leave. He knows how to get in. He knows the code. So why are you leaving food and water and stuff out on the front porch like he's some dog? Like he's some animal that just, wandered off and he's gonna wander back home. Yeah, great minds think alike. Yeah, I mean, it's very offensive. Yep. I mean, we've got the proof of it. Leaving leaving food and water on the front porch. I mean, who's gonna do that? See, here's the thing. If you take the babies from Nova Scotia that are missing, Belinda said when Malaya left that home that day after Jack and Lily went missing, I knew they weren't coming back. I knew they weren't coming back. She left. She knew they weren't coming back. Katie left. We can use that same sentiment, right? We can use that same thing and say, okay, shows that she knows that Sebastian is not coming back. Oh, yeah. Not one thing. You would think so. And that day, she was too busy talking about jewelry, the vacation coming up. They were laughing and hee-hawing. Yes, that's right. That's right. I am looking for, more intensity to come in January. January 21st, probably start around the 14th, 15th into the last half of January. Yep, talked about that yesterday. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, she left home, and I'm really gonna try to maintain some respect here and not say what, I could say, but they are military trained. They are definitely military trained, and no doubt it feels like there is a covert operation. And Sebastian could definitely do things for himself. Per Seth? Oh, yeah. Very intelligent. Sebastian is very intelligent. I promise I think that I can't say that Sebastian that he's gonna be found, but I think that there's going to be a lot of intensity the second half of January. Now, months ago, girl mom, I stated that between, I can't even remember now. I think I said between November 21st and December 1st, there was gonna be a lot of intensity, and as you can see, there has been. And so I'm gonna reiterate that we're gonna have another time period that we're gonna go into that's gonna be very intense. But the car residence that is in the back of Sebastian's house, that is gonna be a part of it. And it's not gonna be there's something that's not right with the car residence, the people in the back of the property, uh, where Sebastian lived. There's something not right there. Yeah. And, it's not that I'm trying to be right. I'm just trying to gain the confidence of you guys here. Hey, Shauna. Because if you haven't seen it in action, then you may be like, I don't know if this girl's legit. I don't know what this astrology stuff is. I'm new to it. I don't know. So I do try to get, to get the involvement of, you guys here at the Watchers. And I just try to show that you can have confidence in me and the way that I read astrology. You can have confidence with that. I may not get it 110% right, but I'm legit. I'm not a fraud. The mapping that I do is very innovative. Nobody else is mapping in the world like me. Nobody. And nobody is reading astrology either like me. And I think Shauna can attest to that because Shauna knows a lot of astrologers, a lot of high roller astrologers, and that are, more well known than me, little old me here on this channel, but she does. And she is the one that when we were the day before Charlie Kirk, we were talking about the intensity of the next day and hit it right on the nails, 12:15. 12:15 Utah time. So the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. I just want you guys to have confidence that when you boost me, when you talk me up to your friends, that you are coming from a place of authenticity. that I am authentic. I'm not over here going, "Oh, I see a red tractor and a red barn and there's streams," and that's all of Tennessee. That's not what I'm about on this channel at all, at all. Yeah, it's very clean. I'm definitely my heart is here, my heart is in it. My heart is in it. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the day before all that stuff went down with Charlie Kirk, it was there. I could see it. It was very intense. It looked really bad. The Cold Case Foundation has over 200 experts all the way around the world. They have tons of resources. Yeah, that can help Seth. Yes. However, the law enforcement has not invited the Cold Case Foundation to help. That's the problem. And the other problem is they're not going to clear Seth. They're not going to clear anybody. And that's the other problem. Cold cases, their hands are tied, but there are other resources. Yeah, Kylie. Yeah, that's funny. Yep. 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 I mean, I can't make that up, man. I see a I see a White House. Well, you know what? In Tennessee, we have tons of colonial old white houses, old white farmhouses. We have tons of barns. We have tons of streams and ravines, tons of tractors and barns. So forget all that. I don't know. I don't know. I think that there is something not right because Jacob Carr is going to have a Saturn return on January 21st, and we are building up to that. And I see Sebastian's case intertwined with it. So I've got a lot of homework to do about it. I haven't figured, I don't even know if I'll be able to figure it out. Most of the time I can't, but I have a really good feeling that this is going to bring a little bit more things to light. I mean, he's never been a loving figure. He's never been a father figure because he's not ever there. He would definitely be doing a whole lot more if he really wanted Sebastian found. Exactly. Jill, I know you do. You see a big old tree and pond in the backyard. Yeah. See a I see a can't even say what I see. I see a bunch of just goofy stuff, man. I see a wooden cabin in the woods. Exactly. Exactly. And red cabins at that. Red cabins at that. I see a bunch of horses. I see cows. That do make sense, and I can show it to you too. I'm not just saying it, and making stuff up. I can show it to you. I can show you how I'm reading it, how I'm seeing it. I think so too, girl mom. I think we're gonna see it. I don't know how, but it's going to so the shadowy figure that Steve Fisher keeps talking about, this shadowy figure, all of this is going to be compounded with an intensity the last 2 weeks of January. And as it gets closer, I'll try to narrow it down a little bit more, but what we may be able to see. Just because, I'm nosy like that. I am. I'm nosy like that, especially when I've done so many hundreds of maps, mapping the missing. I'm invested in these kids' cases, even the kids. I mean, we got a man in his 60s that is missing out of Paris, Tennessee. I've mapped him. There's going to be a huge surge on December 20th. His best friend that's going to be helping with this search has got the map. Well, he doesn't have the map, but he has where my hotspots are. So, I mean, it's not just even kids. I mean, I work hard for the missing. I left real estate, love real estate, left it after 20 years, and now I'm at the missing. And girl, mom, you and Jeff and I met you and your husband. What was that restaurant we went to, Jeff? Yeah, we met your husband in Clarksville. I remember you now. Sure do. Yeah, throw Jill. I mean, Angela says throw a chicken coop in there just in case. Yes, it was Peabody's. That's right. It was good times. I like Peabody's. I like Peabody's. Seems like a good time place. And throw a chicken coop in there. I see chicken coop and a fox. Oh my gosh. Hope floats. I got a clip on my channel where Chris McDonough said that they would be assisting Seth. He also said that he has been in contact with Seth. So hopefully they will be. They've been in contact for a long time. Yes, they are in contact. They've been in contact for a long time. But like Chris said, and like he says, the only way that the Cold Case Foundation can help is if Sumner County, these agencies that are working on the case, bring him in and ask for his help, which they have not, or if they clear Seth, because one of the parents or they can ask for him to come in as well and help, but they haven't cleared Seth. So that's been the problem. That's been the whole problem with the Cold Case Foundation. Yeah, and winding roads. I see winding roads. I see hills. I see mountains. See a big old White House. Oh my gosh. And hey, I'm not taking from the authentic, legitimate psychics or mediums, remote viewers or whatnot. I definitely don't take away from the authentic ones. They are definitely all about staying under the radar, making sure that they are respecting their energy, the other person's energy, and things of that nature. And a lot of times, the law enforcement, if they have utilized and seen progress with certain people, then they're going to reuse them, right? And I know that there are those out there. I've met them. I've been around them. I work with the Find Me group who looks for the missing, and they have over 200 psychics and mediums that work cases. I just so happen to be one of their astrologers. And the astrology, mapping the missing, there's not that many of us that do it. There's maybe a handful of us, and I'm the only one that does it like I do. We all do things different. But as far as the cold case, I think that is going to hopefully change because everything changes, don't it? I think I'm hopeful. How about that? I'm hopeful because Chris McDonough and his team from the Cold Case Foundation could definitely help. Yeah, definitely don't forget the pig farms. Definitely don't forget that. I hope so. I really do. And yeah, Jeff, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for learning and supporting my channel. Be sure and hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. When you come back after this live and you just, put anything in the comment section, it will help the algorithm reach more people. More people will be able to see that there is actually, some really cool stuff with astrology out here that they didn't know before. I agree. I feel sad too. I do. It's sad. They don't. Uh-uh. Like, Shauna that came in here, she does a lot of intuitive psychic work. Yep. And she's not gonna be on my channel constantly talking about it. She just doesn't. She's not promoting herself doing it. A lot of the ones that I've met like to stay under the radar. They just do. They don't want a bunch of publicity and people calling them. That's a really good question, Jill. Why would any but see, she's not an astrologer. She is a psychic medium. That's what she calls herself. So she's not an astrologer. And which you probably know that, but I'm just saying, she's not an astrologer. Anybody, whether you're an astrologer or whatever you are, whatever you're, practicing, whatever that is, I don't think you should ever, absolutely not ever contact a parent of a missing child to state all of this stuff that has gone wrong in detail, in gruesome detail. Hold on just a second. I'm smelling. Hold on. I'm always smelling it in here. Sorry, guys. In my office, I'm getting a big whiff of like fire and smoke. And in the very back of the property, way back in the back of the property, there's a smoldering fire, bonfire from last night. And Jeff says, I'm smelling it from way out there. That's crazy. Like, Jeff, you should come in here and smell it. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? I think so. It's very disgraceful. Look, when you contact a parent of a missing kid and you're talking about all the gruesome things that took place, and then you can't tell them where to go and get that child that all of that stuff happened to by this person and that person and whatever happened. Oh God. Very irresponsible, disrespectful. I can never, ever, ever be okay with that. It's so yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That is hilarious. Cat says, "Go smell it, Jeff." Exactly, Jill. If you can see all that, you should know. Huh? You think I am?
I think you just need a hug.
Do I need a hug? Thank you, babe. Oh my gosh. He said, I think you need a hug. Okay, good. I guess that's crazy, but did you smell it in here? That's crazy. Okay. All right. Exactly, girl mom. I mean, exactly. Hey, Raider Nation. Apologies for your avatar today. Just feeling some kind of way. What is it? What does it say? I see a Tyson, but what does it say? No need to ask for forgiveness, girl. I don't know what it says though. I'm trying to. Yeah, I agree. I mean, who can you imagine? Can you imagine getting an email after because I mean Donna's not the only one But can you imagine? Do you think you would ever want to talk to that psychic medium or any psychic medium ever again? No, no, not no way. It would break my heart. I would be so furious. I don't think so. I think he has done really well considering everything that he has been faced with up till now. I have a lot of respect for a parent that can hold their stuff together without going completely off the rocker, off the chain. Well, if it was my kid, I would do this. You know what? It ain't your kid. You don't have a missing kid. So stay in your lane. That's the way I see it. You know, the people that try to tell him what to do, how to do it, how to think, what to do. No, like we really need to stay in our own lane. Just be an advocate and help the general of Sebastian's army. That's what we need to be doing and focusing on, and definitely planning events, especially, when we're planning an event for Sebastian's birthday, you definitely want to make sure first and foremost that it's okay with Seth to do that because he's been the only advocate. So he's the only one that you can really get in touch with. And that is definitely a fact. That is definitely a fact, Angela. Pastors, psychics, politicians, pretty much all classes of people will and do misuse and abuse people's trust. That's why I'm constantly trying to be going live to show you guys, like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. And you can't just come in for one time and go, "Oh, I get it." No, you're not gonna get it on the first time, the second time, the third. You're just gonna have to continuously watch what I'm doing. And I even held back for a couple of years when I first started my YouTube channel many years ago. It took me a long time to even want to show anybody what I was doing because my mom said that she was worried that if I started showing my method, that one, other people would start doing it and understand how it's being done. And two, I would be putting myself out there for people to perhaps harm me in some way. And so, my mom's very protective anyway. You know what I mean? So she had no idea he hadn't been found. Mm. And is that in Clarksville? Or is that in Hendersonville? Was that in the, Clarksville where they didn't know who Sebastian was? Oh, I know, it's sad. And we were lucky that he even shared that with us because, that's another thing too that he is faced with is that when he shares stuff with us, who's gonna twist it into something really bad? Who's gonna twist it and it become a sideshow? Yeah, Clarksville. And Clarksville, I mean, people that are not from Clarksville or that have never been here to Tennessee, to Middle Tennessee, Clarksville is huge, very big city. I'm talking about it takes 1 hour to get from one side of Clarksville to the other, maybe even longer if you're in rush hour traffic. It's very big. And it's right there on the border. Clarksville is right on the border of Kentucky, of Southern Kentucky, 101st Airborne. So it's big. And there's a lot of people that may not know that Sebastian is missing in Clarksville that are about to know with this advertisement with the Clarksville Culvers. And that's another reason why I think it's such a beautiful thing that we're doing it in Clarksville. And girl mama, are you gonna come? You gonna come? We'll be there. So if you come, we'll see you. Exactly. That's exactly how the hate channels make their money. Twist and sex words all around. And people in the thousands go in there just to stir it, to give to that, to pay for that. And it's sad. It's sad. Sad state of human affairs. You know? Do I know Felicia Long? That's who I was talking to. I don't. I don't. I don't know who that is. Who is that? Should I Google them? Felicia and Fletcher. Let's see. Felicia and Fletcher Long, Clarksville, Tennessee. Oh, are you? Ooh, okay. Okay, so I'm seeing some news out of 2017 about I don't think that that's a good thing, but so was he on the so Fletcher was on the Supreme Court and isn't no longer on the Supreme Court? Because it says that he was disbarred. So I don't know anything about that. Evidently, they don't know about Sebastian, though. A criminal defense attorney, license yanked by the Tennessee Supreme Court. That's what I'm seeing. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. And they didn't know. They didn't know. Yeah, we're all investigators here. They're trying to get that expunged. Gotcha. Good. He was on the Holly Bobo case. I see. I see. Even though we say, talk about the hate channels, it wouldn't be as bad for me. I'm speaking for myself. If they just didn't include the any type of hashtag of Sebastian when if you want to make fun of Brittany J every day and all day, and that's how you're bringing in money, that's how you're putting food on the table, is by making fun of somebody else, and people are paying for that entertainment. That's one thing. Just don't let's leave Sebastian, let's leave Seth, let's leave them out of that, because that's not Sebastian shouldn't be a part of any type of shit show. We should all have more respect for Sebastian. And anybody that respects Sebastian should respect the only advocate that's been working for him to finding. Cat. What's happening? Yeah, Mr. Fletcher could have a lot of pull, especially with the people that he knows at the Supreme Court. Him and his wife could definitely, have some pull in the state of Tennessee with the people that they know. And isn't it all about the people that you know? I mean, that's what we talk about with Bower Sox, about all the people that she knows. So, yes, thank you everybody for being here. What Jeff said. Yeah, I would like to see that too. I would like to hear that too. If we could pick, boy, I would love to be there with you, girl mom. Okay. I'd love to be there with you when you pick that one, when you pick his brain on that, because there is when Sebastian went missing, what bothers me is I don't know what happened the days prior or what happened that day with the TBI or the day prior, the day before on the 25th, the 24th, and the 25th before he went missing, because there are a lot of TBI signature in the missing event and the day before. So the 23rd, the 24th, no, I'm sorry, the 24th and the 25th were big signatures with the TBI. And when I do it like hour to hour, even minute to minute, when I'm doing my thing, I think last night I pulled up like 20 time periods on the 25th that bother me because I can't figure out who would be the dirty cop. Would it be Chris Carr or someone within the TBI? But there's something that's not right there. Something's not right. And it's going to take me a while to, I mean, I would need to dedicate a whole day of doing nothing but looking at charts and trying to figure it out. A whole day of doing only that. So it's going to take me some time to do that. And I've got time before the 21st, before the middle of January. I do hope Seth finds a surge of help, love, and support from his community and nation as well. And he has. He has. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that rally behind him, that will text him, that'll check on him, that'll call him. I do too. I do too, Lisa, because I don't think I ever found Simmons' birthday. And I'm working off of birthdays. I'm looking to again. Yeah, I never found his birthday. I don't know if I ever found Carter's. Let me see if I do have Brandon Carter. No, I've got the email. I just got the email. I don't have Brandon's or Brandon Carter's birthday or Simmons. And that's what I'm looking for. I would need the whole birthday, like, December 7th, 2024. I would need the whole exact birthday. And I can't find it. They're Are they on Facebook or Instagram? Their Facebook isn't showing their birthday. Nope. It's not. I haven't found it. I'm not going to stop looking. I'll look again, but I have not found it. And I've got the DA. I've got Judge Blanton. Please do and let me know if you can find their birthday, Carter or Simmons. I've got Jacob, Chris Carr, Tabitha Carr. I've got some of the neighbors. I've got Bobby's. I got hers. The Laird property that's across the street, Michael and Tina. I've got theirs. But everything surrounds the birthday. Of course, if I do a reading, I need a birth time, but I can do a general with just a birthday. Yeah. Yeah. The time of birth is excellent. Like I ended up getting a birth time from a guy that is spending his life in prison, who has unalived some girls, who was said in the beginning of Denise Flum's case out of Indiana, that he was responsible. Turns out that they don't think that he's responsible anymore. But anyway, I ended up getting his birth time by calling and asking, and they gave it to me by calling the hospital that he was born at. Sometimes it can work out like that, especially with a serial unaliver. That was like a jackpot that just is never gonna happen again, but I ended up getting his birth time. So, when I bring it back when I bring it back to Sebastian and this birthday that we've got coming up, I do think that we're gonna have quite a few people there. I'm hopeful that it's going to be a beautiful thing for Sebastian and that nobody tries to ruin it or talk down about it, be negative about it, because no matter where it's at, we were hearing, well, why not Hendersonville? Well, Clarksville is the one that emailed back and said yes. None of the other ones did. I mean, this was a corporate thing. I don't know. I think Chris Carr may have had his phone home purchased by, I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit something different than that. It's Bobby Simmons. So Bobby, i.e., would be a girl, and I think it is. Yeah, yeah. We got a Brandon Carter. Yeah, we got Brandon Carter. I don't know if his middle name is Keith, but Bobby Simmons, that would be with a Y. That would be with a Y. And I think it's Brandon. I almost think it's Brandon Michael Carter. Yeah, I think it's a Brandon Michael or a Michael Brandon, one of the two. I want to say that there's Michael in it. I want to say that there is a Michael, Brandon Michael or Michael Brandon. Yeah, that's not it. It's not a Keith. And you can even Google them with Sumner County or the TBI, and sometimes it'll give you that middle name, but yeah, it's not Keith. It's not Keith. And I want to say it's Michael, if I remember correctly. Yeah, let me look again. It's Michael Brandon Carter. Sumner County's new deputy in 2015 was Michael Brandon Carter. Michael Brandon Carter. That's it. But good try. Good try. I've got their well, I don't even remember if I think I have their addresses on the map. I think I found the address, but I don't yeah, I think I did. I think I found their address, but I did not find their birthday. So if y'all find it, be sure and let me know. I do use like Unmask, Nuber, Cluster Maps. Those are the sites that will give you the birthday. Yeah, he lives in the borough. And I'm pretty sure I have him on Sebastian's map. Let me see. Let's see if I do. Let's see. And I won't pull it up just because I don't want to get in trouble for doing all that. Let's see. Let me look at Bobby Simmons. Let me see if I've got Simmons address. I do have Carter's. Oh, I don't have Simmons. Let me go into Murfreesboro and look, make sure. because sometimes I might not put the name. Let me go into the Murfreesboro. I got the U.S. Marshals in Murfreesboro. I got Denny King from the Marshals. Yeah, but we would need to know the exact day in January. Yep, we got to find that day in January. I would say Simmons is probably in his late 30s or early 40s. But yeah, I don't have his address. Let me look. Well, let me keep looking because I got some more addresses here. I know Brian's family. He's got some family that live in the borough. But yeah, I must not have his address, Simmons' address. So if let me see. Let me see if I can find it though. I do have Bobby Simmons that are showing up in Murfreesboro, but they're all in their later years. Like in their 60s. I know he's not in his 60s. I know he's not in his 60s. Yeah, it would help. Oh, you did find the address? So my email is Jennifer T. Jennings at gmail.com. Yeah, if you could send that to me, that'd be great. And I'll put it on the map. I never put people's addresses when I'm showing the map. I really try to hide those. I'll say who it is without showing the exact address, So I really try to be respectful. Yeah. This is true. This is true. It's a lot easier. Oh, thank you, Jeff. You're such a sweetie. Thank you, baby. Jeff, are we going to be hunting a fox today, or what is that looking like? Are you waiting for another hunter to get here? Let me know. We have a fox that is challenging us in a big way. Can't let our chickens out. And we're going to have to take him out. If you've ever had chickens, then you know that if a fox finds your flock, he's not going to stop until that flock is gone. And we care about our chickens way too much for that to happen. Jeff built a massive chicken coop. But are the girls out? Are the girls out? Or are they still in? The coyotes, we haven't had any problems. It's the foxes and the raccoons. I mean, I have seen, I think Jeff has seen them too. We even have minks. We have beavers. Like we've got all kinds of wildlife. But y'all, the one that we have the worst problem with is the fox. And they are safe. Oh, okay. They're safe. They're in the coop. Okay. All right. And see, that's been another problem is that they're used to free ranging. Thank you, girl mom. Thank you so much. Let me go ahead and put that on the map and let me see what I can deduct from that. Let me hold on. Let me look at this. Let's see. Okay, let me put that on this map. 27. There it is. And there it is. Cool. Cool. I got it. Which map is this one? Okay. Hmm. Let me hold on. Just a second. I'm looking at this for a second. Hold on. I'm just going to turn them all on. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. So Brian's family also lives in the borough, about 5 miles away. I'm going to turn all these on. That way I can show you guys. Let's see. Turn off that. FBI. Let's get them all on here. And I want to show you guys. I'm going to put this one on the map too with the new map from the Texas Roadhouse. Because eventually when I get that one done, like I've got this one done. Huh. Let me take this one off. Hold on. Let me switch this one. Hold on. Move to folder. Put that there. No confusion. Okay. Here we go. Here's that address. Here it be. So what we're going to look at is we're looking at this address and we're just looking at the different energy that is around this address, the different type of behavior that is going on. So what I see here, oh, hold on. What I see here is Chris is right there. On the other side of this address, we have Chris and Seth. Chris Mercury in Virgo. So his Mercury in Virgo is going this way. This is the communications. This is the media. And there is a challenge with the travel, okay? With what is not seen. The travel that is not seen. The travel that is going far. Because Sagittarius is going outside the neighborhood and is going far. Now, how far are we going to go? How far does it go? Does it go to Millersville or Jackson? You know, how far is it really going to go? And it could even be another country because Sagittarius is foreign, a foreign entity, a foreign agent. It could also have to do with church. It's religious. So, you know, we have to take that in consideration. And it's challenging, like I said, where Chris traveled to. And this is Simmons. Seth's lowest point at home is going this way. His lowest point is here. And it's conjunct his moon. So the moon and his low point at home is within. You see it, it's highlighting. There's that conjunction. Let's go in a little closer. Frances Rosenbaum, this is where her South Node is in Virgo. She's been here. She's definitely been in contact with things in a big way. And there's a fate. She has a fate here with Simmons. And we can't forget that Katie Proudfoot, her Chiron, that pain that she shares with mom, is also with the home life. That's where her Chiron goes. And it actually goes all the way over Warsham's Beach Market, and it goes straight out to Virginia Beach. That's where her Chiron goes. Hey, Jules. Hey, babe. You was number 50? Yay. Yay. We've got Terry Bowersox. This is where Terry Bowersox has enlightenment. His physician in Virgo, that physician that he has in Virgo that is coming down here, that is in conjunction with Jupiter, is an expansion of his connection with Sebastian Rogers. Because his physician is the same degree that is found in Sebastian's chart. And it's about the values of Terry's values. And this Jupiter is about the law enforcement too. And that is the agent here, the law enforcement, Simmons. Interesting, very interesting to see this. Eric Craddock has a reigniting of a flame that is always reigniting. We're always talking. There's always talk with Eric Craddock and Simmons. Right, Terry, get out of Jules' Virgo energy, honey. Yeah, he definitely knows. There's no doubt in my mind. The way that they act, the way that there's just no doubt in my mind. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. But there's a flame of life that is constantly, because look, his Jupiter is here, and Frances, she's here. You know. Then we got Katie. Katie's Mercury. So we have Katie's Mercury and Chris's Mercury. So that means that the media, the communications is here with Simmons. And her Virgo energy matches the FBI. And that FBI connection, Terry Bowersox also has. I have it as well. It's the same degree that the FBI rises with and that they descend with. The FBI descends with Terry Bowersox. Big time. Then we have the missing Vesta in the 7th house. It's squaring. So this is where the missing is coming in. The missing event is challenging 2 or more people. It's challenging communications that really goes over Warsham's. And then goes all the way out to Virginia. And like I said, the flame of life is shown here to law enforcement. Line goes all the way to Virginia. And I'm not making it up. I mean, I've created this. You can see, girl mom, long before you gave me that address. The dark moon with the TBI conjunct Saturn is about a lot of disordered aggression, and it slows the case down. And that would be with Saturn in Virgo for the TBI. So here's the way that the TBI, in my opinion, would work based on their chart and what I could see here too. The TBI don't like it when other agencies, like say a private investigator comes in So at night coming in, Steve Fisher coming in, anybody trying to work with them, they don't take to that well. And the state of Tennessee and the TBI have some opposing forces, and it's a problem too because I think that the information sharing isn't all that good when it comes to the state, local, federal levels. It's just all that information sharing isn't happening correctly. Correctly. And we have another missing line that's, and we're going pretty far away from his house, but nevertheless, it's there. And this is about things that are hidden that we don't see that took place over the night because that missing Neptune is going north and the moon was going south at the same exact time period at 1:36 a.m. They were in a complete opposition. It was pretty intense at 1:36 a.m. And then we got the DA, and the DA's conjunction, let's see, where is that conjunction? Looks like there's a conjunction, but where is it? Oh wow, it's a wide conjunction. Look at that. So it's going from it's going from like Blackman over here. So I've got a wide conjunction, and that's disordered aggression with Apollo, with the physician Apollo. So there's a lot of disordered aggression here with the district attorney and Simmons. And we can only, speculate why that is. Enjoy, Kat. Go enjoy your family. Have a good night, honey. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for participating in the chat, for being a member. I love it. Love, love, love it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate it. Here's Faith. Faith's moon in Virgo that is coming this way, that is challenging the Mars in Gemini, that is going toward Virginia over Worsham's Market. And see, Gemini is about two people. It's about communications and anything having to do with communications. So if you want to think about the Ring camera, that's communications too, Definitely. Let me pull up. Let me put that on the other map because I don't have everybody on there like I would like yet, but I'm going to. Promise you. Oh, Jules, thank you so much, honey. Thank you, babe. Thank you for what you do too. It takes us all. I haven't seen your message about Cherry. I haven't seen it, but I'll look. Hold on. Let me pull up this map. I want him on that new map. Oh, shoot, not a new map. On the one from Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse, Jennifer. Let's see. Thank you for that, Jules. Oh, why is it not pulling up? Come on. Thank you, darling. Okay. Your maps. Sebastian from Texas Roadhouse. Here we go. Put it in here. Let me go back to my email. And it's 13. Because I've made two maps. So I'm creating the second map. And this is why. Because I want to see how this is really going to, when we look at the map versus from the Texas Roadhouse to He Made It Home, which one is going to show more, like which one is going to show it being more authentic? How can we understand it a little bit better? So let me turn on what I do have here. Okay. And it's not looking like I'm going to have a whole lot. It's going to show itself here. Oh, hold on. But it may. And I think, wow, okay. Let me show you this one. Huh. I'm definitely going to have to add more, like pronto. Pronto. But do you see how close the DA is now showing up? It's going right over that property. That's what I want to see. I'd rather see it going right over the property instead of right beside it. But I want the story to tell itself to me. And we know that this is, an investigator. We know that this is Simmons. So the DA should be talking to him. But there's something that is not jiving here. And let me tell you why. So Katie's Mercury, relationships are critical on the conjunction. Yep, they are. They're definitely critical with Simmons. But here's the problem here that I'm seeing is, let's take Katie off. Take addresses off. Where's Katie? Is this right here. So the DA's Mercury in Pisces is going north, and the enlightenment about the health factor, the physician that brings enlightenment, the physician that brings medicine, or that would, transform the look. The physician is going this way, but his Mercury with communications is not going. There's an opposition. There's an opposition is going this way. It's going up toward like White House, Walnut Grove area. And so there's communications that are not happening. Interesting. There's a lot of hospital. And is that why? Medicines. When I was talking about the holiday forecast, I also, in that video, talked about the Neptunian influence. And it wasn't just about the sea, it's also about medication, our healthcare system, because Neptune is about things of the past. Neptunian, Piscean energy is, and in doing something like this, right, with forensic astrology, the Neptunian influence is also going to be about medicines, medication. Could be about a hospital, hospitals, anything having to do with the healthcare system. HIPAA, right? Didn't Chris state something about HIPAA? Okay, so you found his birthday, just not the year. Yeah, that's the problem that I was having too, girl mom, is that I can find everything but the year or the actual date, which really stinks. Because without all of it, I can't pull it up, And I've looked at their Facebooks, I've looked everywhere, I just can't, I can't find it. I might could, with any information that you find, I might could find the other. So even if you can't find it all, you can still send it to me. And I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So there's something here with the DA, with the communications, and it's opposing. There's an opposition, and I'd rather see the communications be with him rather than against him. So let me see on this map, because he's going straight over that property. Let me see if I've got anything here. And then, of course, all my addresses. I've got 1,100 plus addresses on that other map. And I can't just like transfer them over here. I wish it was that easy, but I have to go manually and put each one of them in here. And gosh, what I could be missing, you know? I feel like I'm just missing a whole lot. So we're going over Sandy Valley. I was just looking at this Mud Hollow, Jones Road in Hendersonville, Tennessee, South Palmer's Chapel. Seems like I do have some other addresses that I really need to pull and put over on this one, like pronto, because I'm missing a lot right here. I'm missing a lot. Going over, let me see. Save. And let me see if I can find where I was, because that's Mud Hollow. See how that's just, and I would expect the missing event. Well, I mean, I don't expect the missing event to go right over there. Let me see if there's any searchers that's going to go over here too. And see, none of the searchers goes over there. Huh. Nope. Which is very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Not even the FBI. Not even the FBI is going from leaving his house. Where's Mud Hollow? So really on this map, it's Seth. And on the other one is the DA. Where's the DA? Huh. Okay. Oh, shit. Should have turned on the addresses. Jesus. Oh, I'm going the other way. I need to go like way up here. Now I got too much. Jesus. Let's see. His Mercury is going this way. Now let me turn on the addresses, because it's going to be in this general area. Where's Mud Hollow? There it is. So see, it was going over this way. Fern Valley. I'm just looking for any addresses as I'm walking, as I'm scrolling up through here. Pleasant Hill. Okay. So no. Oh shit, yeah, I do. God dang. And there's Red River. Now, Shauna, she's probably not still in here, but she was telling me something about Red River. I know we're missing a whole child here. It is 1986. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see. Let me pull it up. All right. I'm going to do a Hooray chart right now. Huh. Well, hell. Okay, so this is perfect because I've been you know what? This is perfect. And Bobby, if you ever watch this, just let me know if I've even got the birth time. Just let me know if I've got the birth time close too. Oh my gosh, watch this. Hold on. Hold on. Let me take off some of these tabs. I gotta have some stuff organized over here. Let me pull this up. Hold it. Thank you for being interested, guys. Yes, you was definitely meant to find it, girl. Yes, yes. Rich had to get permission from Seth. He's tried emailing him. I've seen his face. I'm not trying to defend a guy, but I asked him where is all his receipts, and he knows he's trying to. Well, here's the deal. You may have seen his face. I haven't. Most of his videos are nothing about showing his face. And if you support a creator, I'm definitely not going to try to talk you against that or get you upset where, I don't want you to have to feel like you have to defend any creator that you follow, first and foremost. But if you're going to create an event for a missing child for their birthday, you definitely want to check with the parents first and foremost before you decide to organize an event for their child. He's in Texas. He's not even local. He's never been here. And even if he had, ask the parent. Ask them first. So he didn't have any luck with Chris and Katie, with Smiley talking to Chris and Katie. Then he emails Seth. Seth doesn't know him. Seth wants to be, Seth has always organized the events for Sebastian, and he will continue to do that. If there is anybody else that wants to do something in Hendersonville for Sebastian's birthday, it just seems like out of respect, you should ask the parents. But to force yourself on the parents, on the community, to force yourself on that, to do that, it's just, he's already lost the battle there. And who knows, maybe Seth will reach back out to him. I don't know. If he emailed Seth, maybe he will email him back. Or maybe he won't. I just don't know. It just seems it's just a lot of all the back and forth, all the drama. That's not what we want for Sebastian's birthday, right? So let's see if I still have the text. Okay. It's pinging. Okay. Yeah, girl mom, well done. Well done. So I'm going to stop this right here. This is what we would call a Hooray chart. So we're going to stop it and we're going to duel it out with Simmons. Hold on just a second. I'm going to share my screen. Just a second. Okay. So Mr. Simmons. me share my screen here. I got to bring up my pen. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out and wanting to learn a little something new. What is interesting, and the reason why I was laughing, is because when I did, like, that live yesterday, and I did so many charts trying to lead up to what is going to take place on the 21st. And I told you guys, let me just hold on. Y'all got to see this. Let me get back to it. Where was it? No, I think we started at, where was it? The 21st. Let me see. And I said, this number keeps coming in. And I said, when it's known, I'm not going to stress about it. But when it's known, I'm going to know. But it'll be brought to me, right? I don't know, where is it at? Because I remember seeing it at the bottom. Let's see, where was it? Or was it in the very beginning of him going missing? Oh God, hold on. Where was it? I'm going back through my charts. Hold on. Hold up. So I kept seeing the 1611. There it is. I remember I said, I keep seeing this 1611. And this was on the 25th at 4:17 p.m. And I kept seeing it. And I was talking about the TBI and how they were just continuously showing up. But this 1611, this dark moon in the second house of values, that 1611 has just showed itself to me, whether or not it's that degree or not, it's showing itself to me once again. So I think that that's important. Definitely important. Now, could it be another degree? Of course it can. It's just that as the observer, what I'm seeing at first, and then what if I see it again, it becomes a pattern and I'll remember it. So I know that he has these 16 degrees with things that he learns with a relationship. And it could be about foreign affairs. He gets a shakeup with a foreign affair. This can be a bullet, okay? But it could also be things that we learn, like over the radio waves, like we're doing now. But generally, this Sagittarius that rules the ninth house, this is the ninth house, this is the ninth house. Usually the Sagittarius that rules that house is about the judge, the law. It's a higher learning. So college, another country, a foreign agent, a foreign affair. We're going far. So this is interesting to see because I haven't been able to look at this chart. This 1342, it could be that it's a 1342. It could be a 1357. But the 1342 would definitely be opposing Texana. So I like to see that. Because what it shows me is that the health factor isn't in opposition with other people's money, with what she is trying to hide with this investigation with Sebastian and trying to sue Seth. So that opportunity that she has taken looks like it doesn't settle well with him at all. And in fact, Chris's emotional outbursts give Simmons a wake-up call. Definitely a wake-up call. The 216, it could even be that the 216 that was in transit when Sebastian went missing, it could have something to do with Simmons' chart. I don't know. There could have been definitely a lot of energy, a lot of transformative energy when Sebastian went missing. And the other thing that I see is that he has a weight. There is a major problem with this 357. I do know that the communications and the weight of the communications is going to Crabtree. That's him all day long. Yeah. This would be connecting his warring, wherever this warring is, it's going to be connecting to the Secret Service. There's a lot of warring with the Secret Service and maybe the action that they take, the action that they don't take. Seth has in his chart a 2321. And that's where the Mercury is. The Mercury in Pisces is a 2321. The communications with Simmons would shake things up internally, intuitively with Seth, because Seth has this ×2 in his chart. This goes to Alaska. It also goes to possibly, I'm trying to remember, Alabama. It could even go to, I want to say, it could even go to Canada, I think. I would have to look and make sure. But it definitely goes to other states, other places. This is interesting because he has a wisdom when it comes to Chris Carr. Very interesting. That's going to be in play come January 21st. This 2723. Let's just show you. Actually, I want to stop it for a second. Hold on. Let me look over here and see if there's any. So there's a disordered aggression. There could be a breakup here. Disordered aggression. That would be 4 hours. He would be born later at night. That's possible. But look, this 2950 was in transit. Well, let's just say that 2950 goes to Sebastian. $29.50 also goes to California. But the $29.50 is the flame of life with schooling, with education, with competition. Anything that would have to do with Seth. I mean, with that $29.50 though. God's will is being done right here. God's will is being done with Sebastian, with this chart, as we have found, thanks to Girl Mom Simmons. Wild Wolf, that's the way she is. You're trying to figure out what's the vendetta. Since she has met Chris, that's the way that she has been with Seth. And that would be for her to answer, you know? It is sad. It's heartbreaking, really. 24, let's see. So this is going to be one that I may go back to. I'm looking for any other connections here from these non-movers like Poseidon. That's a non-mover. It's going to be 2723. Let me see something. Let's look at it on the 21st when Jacob has his Saturn return. Because he's definitely connecting on that day. Definitely connecting. I want Simmons on the left, though. It's my right brain, left brain, you know? Let's see. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? The 21st. Hold on. All right. So before we make it to the 21st, January 21st, we're going to see these 27 degrees. Like Saturn's going to be a 2741. That's going to be with Jacob and Steve Fisher. And then this 27 with Uranus is already going to go over those degrees. Okay, so they're already going over those degrees first. So Uranus is going to shake things up, and then Saturn is going to bring responsibility and accountability. And this 2732 is going down in degree. This 2741 with Saturn is going up in degree. So it's going to go 27, 41, 42, 43, while Uranus in Taurus is going to go from 2741 to 40 to 39, 38, 37, 36, and so on. And these 27 degrees, when Uranus is going to shake things up, while Saturn is going to bring a lot of accountability and responsibility to the case of Sebastian Rogers. And it's going to have to do with Jacob Carr, Chris Carr, the TBI, because no matter what time he is born, he has a 2723 in his chart, no matter what time. He could have other 27s, not a whole lot, but that 2723, let me show you, is, let's look at Chris Carr. Because his lunar nodes of fate, the south node where he's been with the TBI is there, but the 2720, his north node is actually opposing the wisdom that Simmons has. Does that make sense? So what I'm saying is that this 2723, I mean, it could be a 2723. Let's see if it will make it there. Those lunar nodes. And it doesn't look like it. It may be a 2722, but more than likely it's not going to be. Now, no matter what time Eric Craddock is born, he has an 818. So he could be, he could be born around 5 a.m. and later. That's what I'm thinking, 5 a.m. and later. So if we wanted to say, okay, this is the time that he's born, around 5 a.m., Chris Carr is born, it's still, these 27 degrees are Saturn is going to come against him, against his groups. It's going to be unexpected. There's a lot that is yet to come. I can even see that Chris Carr connects to faith. No matter what time he's born, he connects to faith with the enlightenment of contracts, of the courts. I just think that we have a lot to go through, and I may not even, there's so much to see here. So much to see here. But he does have these 27s. He learns things from these 27 degrees. He gets shaken up by what he learns by this 27 degree. He is fated with this 27 degree. There is definitely a lot of flames of life that is constantly being reignited at that 27 degrees. So those 27 degrees are going to be in transit big time. A second week of, so let's just say that this 2716, Uranus is going to come to this Uranus too. There's just a lot that the car family, the car residence is going to go through. And not only does he connect here with faith with this 0052 with Apollo that brings enlightenment to the law enforcement with relationships, but there's also a breakup with it. There's a huge burden with it as well. And this is where there's an opposition with little faith in his chart, no matter what time Chris Carr is born. So there's a problem here. There's a problem. It's a problem, guys. But I've been talking for a few hours now. I think it's time for me to step away, take a break, give y'all a break, because I will devour. I will devour it. I will devour the your mind here. If there is anything that I come up with that I can tell, because look, this 2958 goes, if there is, let's say he's born an hour earlier, that's going to connect to Tennessee and Cuba. And as we get further into degree of 2958, 2959, that is where there's going to be a lot of energy with the health with Terry Bowersox. So and then there's going to be a major transformation. That 325 is going to be shown. Let's look back at his Saturn return, his son's Saturn return, because his son's Saturn return could be about his dad, which is Chris, or work, authority, things of that nature. But look, this Pluto at a 322 is going to come to that 325. And then Pluto is going to transform him, Chris Carr, with groups and possible video, audio, something like that. Okay. And his son is already having a lot of disordered aggression here. There's a lot that I talked about yesterday that I just don't want to even, it would take forever. Like I did yesterday. But these days, there's the 324. And look at that. Mercury is going to be conjunct. This is a big, I can't even tell y'all. Because I don't even know what's happening here myself. It's just wild. It's wild to look at because he has the 324. There is a major emotional, lots of emotion. And this emotion is coming out into the media. He is being transformed. And this 542 is faith. There is a reigniting of a flame. Hold on. Hold up. This is the TBI and the connection with Seth and the TBI. There's a lot of warring here. A lot of warring here. And we know that Terry Bowersox, Chris Carr, they have those low degrees right there. Wow. What is going to come out here? Interesting. And then we know that Simmons has a 1600. With a lot of warring. Well, I'm going to save this time because this is big, 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 big. It's big energy right here. And it's with we the people, guys. This is with we the people. This is with us. And this is what that Saturn return is going to do for the cars. This is a very intense day for Sebastian. You can mark it on your calendar. It's a very intense day for Sebastian and his case. No doubt about it. No doubt. Very intense. All right, so I saved that. Now what do I need to do here? Because there's going to be a lot of disordered aggression that's going to come because that 341 is going to come 342, 343, 344. And we know that that 344 is Mexico and Israel. There's a higher learning here with the courts, with the courts, with foreign travel. Let's look a little bit. Let's look something. Let's see. 1601. And I want to make sure. Let me make sure that, because, oh man, yeah. We know that there's going to be disordered aggression with Simmons. Oh yeah, this is not, I got a lot of homework to do, Jesus. Let me make sure that that 16 doesn't move to a 1601. Hold on. Because all the warring, the disordered aggression, all this warring with Eris, the goddess of war. Let me see if I can get it to a 1601. That would be him. I don't think I'm pretty sure he's going to shine. The way he shines bring warring and in opposition to the TBI. I'm not happy here. Let me just say that. I don't like what I'm seeing here. We know that this is Chris Carr, the 2323. Now we're talking about Chris Carr and his kid. Okay, so he could be born. I think he's going to be born after 5. I think he's going to be born at 6:14. Somewhere around here. And just, let me know, Simmons. Let me know what time you were born. Okay, so see if I can get it to that 1601. No, it's not going to get to the 1601. So we're going to go back to the 24th of January. Law. There's going to be some shit going down on this day, honey. All right, hold on. Let's see. That 443 is showing up ×2. The sun is shining. We are being transformed. 443, I think that is, what's his face, Simmons. There's 444s, 440 something. Anyway, 1600. When does that start? There is going to be, it's going to go downtown. Julie Brown, honey. Whoa. And this is when the TBI comes in as well. And they're going to expand. That 1816 is coming down in degree to the magnetism of the TBI. Devouring energy. We're going far. Where there's something we are learning or we're going far. Let's see. State of Tennessee there. Pluto degree is a 1055, and that's where the lunar nodes of fate are coming into. There's going to be a wake-up call that is coming to the 4th house of home with Kathy Bowersox. I think that the wall is going to be tumbling down. However, it's going to look, feel, what have you. And I hope I'm right. All I know is we're going to see some shit go down. during this time period. And you can mark it on your calendars. You can take that to the bank. You will see it. It will. How it's going to express itself, well, that's going to remain. I always get excited thinking that I'm looking at, Sebastian being found or something like that, but it's disappointing to say the least. But it begins with Simmons on the 24th. So we can let him know the 24th, we're talking about where Sebastian went to. We're reflecting where Sebastian is, no doubt about it. And then when we wake up Saturday morning, that's when the state of Tennessee and the U.S. Marshals are showing back up. That 2509 that's in transit with Saturn, that's been back and forth, back and forth. There's Oklahoma right here. That is also Heather Cohen. That's Tony Mathis. That's me. Colorado. Interesting. There's that 2950 showing up, giving her a wake-up call. There's Katie. Yeah, we're going to see a lot. There's a lot. And you can't have all of this Aquarian energy. And whoever's going to be born during this time, wow. You can't have all of that Aquarian energy. You got a divine justice. You got Mars. You got Pluto, the Sun, Mercury, Vesta, and Venus, all in Aquarius and at a critical palace. Ooh. La. Unbelievable. I can't wait to see it either, y'all. I can't wait to see it either. We have 2 months, not even 2 whole months. But the way that I talked about the end of November, first week of December, well, we're going to do this again. We're going to do it again, and we're going to by the time that it comes around, hopefully I'll have a good idea of who is who, what's happening, because there's going to be a lot of transformation with this case. And there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of intensity. I feel like it's covert, like we got some type of covert action going on here. And I can see that this 303 is showing up. There's going to be a transformation, with the Carr residents and the Proudfoots and the Bowersox, with the TBI. So we have some things to look forward to. We really do. 007, I'm saying. We got some 007 agents up in this chat. I just can't wait either, Lisa. I can't wait. But the dark moon, okay, so the dark moon with Sag is definitely suggestive of a higher learning. It's a lot of fire, okay? So there's a lot of fiery energy. We could definitely see Oklahoma, Colorado, fires going on there in January. We could see anything having to do with flight. We could see things having to do with any type of religious rhetoric with it. And of course, planes that are, this is definitely an ice day. And I'm not talking about weather. I'm talking about, this is a federal day with ICE agents. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be very intense. So we are definitely looking at foreign entities, foreign agents, a foreign country, anything having to do with going far. The dark moon with the Sag energy too Sag is also about a river. So, but his connection with the 2950 goes to California. The 2950 is a California degree for sure. No doubt about it. So now that I know Simmons somewhat, his chart, if he was born on that day that I've now gotten from Girl Mom, if he is born that day, then we can definitely see that he's in it all day. It's a collective, and he and the TBI are going to expand a home. And we may not hear anything about it until it's over, and they may surround a home. There may be some, some undercover shit going down because it's about to be, it looks like it's about to get really intense. And there's a lot of things that are going to come against the state of Tennessee with children. And groups with children. A lot of attention that's going to come on the state of Tennessee. I can see it. But the 0050 that the state of Tennessee has is in Leo. So we've got a justice, and we've got a lot of action with Mars, with groups. And so is this going to be something that we're going to be talking about with ICE and children, group homes, things of that nature? Maybe. In California, that's going down in California. The other states that have this 1055 is also Ohio. Tennessee connects to other states through their Pluto degree. And one of them, if I remember correctly, is Ohio. This is definitely Tennessee. This 2956 is Tennessee. That's Tennessee. It's about the health. This is Tennessee too. So we've got a lot. And during this week, between, I would say the 17th, it may even start on the 14th, but we're definitely going to see it the end of the last 2 weeks of January. There's no doubt about it. Ain't no doubt. And then we know that Mr. Carr has a lot of 27, 30, 27s in his chart. So we can even go even further, and we could go, okay, well, he's got a 27 something. Carter has a 27, 21 or whatever it is. But look, Uranus is going to station. Uranus is not going to go down into that degree, into that 27, 21, 27. It's not going to go there. We got to wait. Ain't going. So and Chris is going to be opposed. I mean, Chris is going to be having a lot of problems. There's going to be a lot of problems with Chris Proudfoot. Katie has the 1718. That's going to come into transit too. No, it's not. It's going to station. It's going to go retrograde. So this could be a good time period. It really could. It could be a good time period for some of these cases in Tennessee to come to a close. And I hope it does. I really do. I hope we're going to see a lot more movement and things going down in Sebastian's case like we're seeing with Summers. But, you got to do something different to get different results. And February 5th, 2026, we're going to see things going down. I mean, we're going to see things going down with Summers' case. Layla Santinello's case. I can see Layla Santinello up in here too. So hopefully, they're going to get the show on their own. I mean, I'm just hoping. We'll see. We will see. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. It means a lot to me. Hey, girl. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, Jeff. You already know. Write it down. Write it down on your calendar. We'll come back over and over again, of course, before it gets here. But we're going to see a lot of action. And maybe we'll see it before, it actually gets here, but I don't think we're going to see it all. Don't think so. At all. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. I'm going to jump off here. I've talked for 3.5 hours now. I think it's about time, to give you guys a rest, give myself a rest. And until next time, guys, peace out. Here's Sebastian's anthem. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. Absolutely amazing to hang in here with me day in and day out for hours. Y'all are troopers. I love it. Sebastian's Army. It takes us all, don't it? Appreciate it.
Clean like your soul, won't be forgotten. We stand strong for you, never give up. Seek justice and truth. Day and night we search. Community gathers, wipe the tears away. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, babe. It lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise up for you, Sebastian strong. Sebastian's army, we march on. Each day comes and goes, hope in our hearts. You're never alone, we'll bring you home. Wish it was a dream, hey, it lingers on, but strength we carry will keep you strong. Rise